What up, fam? It's your favorite cousin, your favorite nephew, your favorite uncle, your favorite father, your favorite son, your best friend's best friend. It's me, Dr. Larry, and welcome to Living For You, the YouTube channel. This is a safe space, a positive place in which we come together, we learn from one another on this journey that we're all sharing called life. Hello, family. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate you. I honor you. I love you. I value you, of course. I appreciate you guys have been following me throughout this entire year. And so my gift this particular month, in the month of December, which is the month we generally give gifts for Christmas and for Hanukkah and for Kwanzaa and for other celebrations that we have. So I just been throwing out videos for you guys regularly. But come back into January, we'll go back to our twice a week videos. But I just wanted to give you, my family, my beloved supporters, a gift. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To those of you who have been watching, I see you. I see the numbers. I know. But you're not quite part of the family because you haven't subscribed yet. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It cannot hurt you. This is a positive place. This is a loving place. We all about love here. Yes, sometimes the love can come and be dispensed a little tough. Yes, sometimes we're learning about things and we're discussing topics that are sensitive and tough to deal with. But at the end of the day, it's all in the spirit of love, light, and growth. And we're doing this journey together. So I'm no better than you, and we're doing this together. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. For those of you who have never seen me, never heard of me, but now you do, I'm Dr. Larry Smith. I am a certified life and spiritual coach, amongst other things, educator, entrepreneur, son, brother, you know, whatever. I'm a lot of things. If you want to know more about me, you can actually go to my business website. My business is Live For You Coaching, which is a life coaching business, a spiritual coaching business. And you can go find out more about that at www.liveforyoucoaching.com. That's www.liveforyoucoaching.com. And if you want to follow me on social media, because I post all kinds of things, from pictures, from history, from motivational things, loving things, intelligent things, educational things, whatever, you can follow me on both Instagram and on Facebook at Dr. Larry Smith. That is Dr. Larry Smith on both Instagram and on Facebook. So why am I here today? Well, I'll tell you. I had a conversation with a couple of my students. I was reviewing their posts, and we were discussing things in our discussion forums in our courses this semester, and I kept getting several different replies about history. For those of you who don't know, I am a history professor. That is what I have been doing for the last 10 years. I've been a history teacher, or should I say social science teacher, because I teach more than history. I teach geography, I teach ethnic studies and human civilizations on top of history. But history is my I guess you would say, my foundational career. And I've been doing that for the past 25 years on different levels, from the second graders all the way up to the college level where I am now. So I am Professor Dr. Lawrence Smith, Larry Smith. But I also teach specifically, one of the courses is African American history. And I would say from the onset, it is such an honor, okay? I am so honored to be able to teach African American history. It is an honor I have. And I'll get into more of that. I'll get into more of that later on. But for the most part, it is an honor of mine to teach that. So when I find students who are of African American descent, who are unfamiliar with their history, it breaks my heart. But when I find out from them directly that once taking my class, it has opened up that world to them and have given them more appreciation for their ancestors and have given them more appreciation for themselves and motivation to do more just because of that, it almost brings tears to my eyes, okay? Because that is why I do what I do in the classrooms. That is why I do what I do when I'm here, to get people to be fully accepting and loving of themselves, and to enjoy themselves and their histories and their stories and their things, no matter what. So it is a powerful thing for me to get that type of reception from my students, and it just warms my heart, because I think it's super important for a person to value their ancestors. I think it's super important for us to value those who laid the foundation of the blessings that we have today. Everywhere I go, every step I take, every move I make, not to quote the song, but I am honored and I'm surrounded by the love, appreciation, and approval of my ancestors. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful thing to give to someone else, because it's the gift that keeps on giving. When somebody gave it to me, it instilled in me the desire to give it to someone else, and that's going to instill in them the desire to give it to someone else and keep this love chain linked and going. It's a phenomenal feeling. And so that's kind of what I'm talking about today, just showing appreciation for my ancestors. For those of you who don't know, maybe I have family, subscribers in different parts of the world. I mean, Spanish speaking, French speaking, Africa, Australia, England. You guys, I see you, you comment, you're here, I know, I love you. And a lot of times people outside the United States and a lot of people within the borders of the United States are unfamiliar with the history of African American and African descendant people here in this American hemisphere. And so, just as a minor history lesson, most African Americans, most people of African descent here, aside from recent migrants after the 1960s, are descendants of slaves. And a lot more people outside of African Americans are also descendants of slaves, but racially it's not always seen physically. But for most African Americans, the majority of us, we're descendants of those who were enslaved in this part of the world for almost 400 years. Being a slave wasn't an easy life. You were owned by somebody else. You were considered less than a human. You were treated wrong, you were discriminated against, you were abused, you were robbed almost of all of your humanity. But one thing I've learned is that the human spirit, and I've learned this in my own personal walk of life and experiencing and watching the other experiences of others. The human spirit can't be crushed. It is undeniably strong. So no matter where you are in life, no matter what you're subjected to in life, the human spirit will continue and thrive. And for African Americans, this is one of the most greatest stories in U.S. history. Because despite all that we have been through, we still managed to influence culture in such a dramatic way. We still managed to achieve and overcome things in such a dramatic way. And we're still making strides every day, even in modern times. So for me, it's not a tragedy. For me, it's an overcoming story. It's a victory, and we celebrate that. And so a lot of that permeated through the American culture, but it permeates through my soul. And I'm proud of that history, and I honor my ancestors for all they've been through, for all they went through. Their prayers are being answered in this time. I am an answered prayer of an ancestor of mine. And it moves me emotionally to know and to believe that. Because I know that somewhere back years ago, someone thought about me being able to do what I do. Whether it's getting on this camera, whether it's getting in a classroom, whether it's starting businesses, whether it's helping others, whatever. Someone back there prayed and held me in their reality even before I was formed. See, I believe energy transfers space and time. Really, in the ultimate cosmos of everything there is no time. It's all just one experience. And so I feel directly connected to that prayer and that hope and that dream of an ancestor in my past. And of course, me being a historian by trade, I've done a lot of research. I continue to do research because another thing that a lot of people aren't familiar with is most African American descendants of slaves have a hard time finding specifics on our own ancestry due to them not being records kept, due to it being destroyed and being all lost. And so it is a task to try to find out your identity. But I, of course, I wanted to know, so I dive in to figure it out. And I see the names and the graves and the children of those who came before me, and I just long to meet these people. And I know that that's not impossible, but in my heart it brings me such a joy and a desire to want to interact, to know exactly what these people looked like, to know what these people thought, to know how these people spoke and lived and walked, and the foods they ate, and the gods they worshiped, and everything else that comes in contact with touching roots with those people. And so I honor those people, and I value those people, and those people live within me and around me every single day of my life. Every single day of my life. You guys know that I lost my mother in 2019, and it is of my belief that my mom went into the arms of my ancestors. She was greeted with joy. Now, whether you believe in heaven or hell, that's fine. It's irrelevant to that point for me. For me, I feel like she's in safety. She's in a good place, mingling with the ancestors in the time, space, and eternity that will forever be. And one day I will be there. One day you will be there with yours. But it's loving and comforting to know that that energetic force loves me, is all around me, wants what's best for me. So I act out of it. I don't do things that I feel would dishonor my ancestors. I don't do things that would make my ancestors look bad. I live in the truth that I am a current representation of that lineage, and I honor my path and I live my life according to that standard of being, because I value it, I love it, I cherish it, and I honor it so much. And so when students tell me that I have given them the gift of just a small connection to that, a drop of that, I am so touched by that, because I honor their path in catching their ancestors and saying, I feel you. This class gave me that. You guys, it's hard to even articulate into words the amount of immense emotion that I feel from even being an agent. Because it's not me giving it to them. I'm just the tool. I'm just the vessel. But to be used as that vessel to bring that truth to another person, a young person, it is beyond. It is beyond. Now, I know there's somebody out there listening who is like, is this ancestor worship? No. It's ancestor appreciation. It's ancestor valuation. It's ancestor love. Those that are comfortable within themselves don't need to be worshipped. Okay? I even say that about the highest power, God, Spirit, the All. I don't believe that energy needs to be worshipped, because what can you possibly give the creator, the beginning creator? I guess it's a word I made about it. It was kind of a creation and creator. But what can you give the creator of everything, the end all, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end, that is going to be on the level of respect that is deserved of something so powerful? Your appreciation is being kind to your fellow neighbor, because that's the representation of that power. Your appreciation comes from appreciating your body and taking care of your body, because you are a representation and an emanation of that power. So worshiping ancestors or worshiping even a higher power seems a bit unnecessary in the grand scheme of things to me. You might have it different, and that's fine. We're all here for our differences. We accept, appreciate, and honor each other on our paths, on our journeys. So no, this isn't ancestor worship, it's ancestor appreciation and showing love to those people who laid all of the foundations to which I stand on, to which I continue to build on, so that whoever comes 100 years after me, 50 years after me can say, I show appreciation for what he gave for me. And this is not necessarily a relative thing. People of color, African American people, we're all connected in the same realm of reality. So for that reason, we're all connected. We're all brought together. We're all brothers and sisters. That's why I make it a habit. If I see somebody black on the streets, I speak intentionally. If I see somebody out there needing help, I intentionally, if I can, make a way to help them. I intentionally show respect to black women. Okay? I would not go out and harm a fellow black male. I teach for the masses, but I hone in on my students who look like me, who ancestors had experiences that mine had. And I know that seems a bit much, but for me, it's about taking in my babies. Their babies. I was their baby, my ancestors, and they took me in. And it is the job of the elders and of the older ones to take in on the young ones and bring them to an awareness of who and what they are. And I gift that back to my ancestors, and I feel like I hear them say, job well done, son. Thank you. So that's what it's about. Whoever you are, wherever you are, take time to appreciate those who came before you. And for those who look like you, love on them. Love on them like you love on yourself. Hold them like you hold yourself. Your brothers and sisters, sometimes in experiences and sometimes literally. Our ancestors gave so much. They worked so hard with so little to give us all that we have. Not for us to keep and hoard, but for us to give back and for us to share and to love one another. Don't make them cry. Whenever I see things in the news like bad stories and crime stories and all these other things, and just I imagine an elderly woman just weeping, an elderly man just weeping for their children to just do right. And I'm telling you, children, just do right. Just do right for your ancestors. Love on them and show your love that you have for them by loving one another and by loving yourself. I had to get on and talk about that. It was so, like I said, seeing those students fall into their reality, fall into their truth, fall into their lineage was such an honor for me. And I thank them for sharing it, because that's a gift to me. So thank them for that gift that they gave me of telling me their truth of what my class, my course meant to them as far as them connecting with who they were. If I can help one person, I've helped enough. And I have, over the course of my career, helped thousands. And I am so, I don't take that for granted, y'all. I don't take that for granted. Regardless of whether or not you're an ancestor of mine, I love you. I thank you for being here. You are my family regardless. But I had to talk about that before the end of the year, because it was weighing on me, you guys, heavily. But I love you all with the highest love that I can possibly give you. And I will see you in the next video.